Humanity's patience snapped the Six-Day War that proved humanity's strength. Best HFY Stories humanity had tried for decades to show that they could be calm, fair, and patient members of the galactic community. They had joined the Galactic Council only 20 years ago. The council was full of species much older than humans, species that had mastered space travel and war for thousands of years. The council saw humans as young, emotional, and unpredictable. Behind closed doors, many laughed at them. They said humans would never survive in the galaxy without being crushed. Captain Daniel Brooks watched the council reports come in from his command station aboard the Valiant Star. The reports were all the same. Dravari patrols had pushed another human mining convoy back from the trade route near the Outer Rim. The convoy had supplies for the colony at Titan Station. The Dravari had claimed it was an accident, but accidents like this happen too often to be true. Again, Brooks muttered. He rubbed his forehead. How long do we keep taking this? Commander Lisa Grant, standing beside him, shook her head. Her hair was pulled tight into a bun. She was calm, but there was a sharp edge to her tone. They are testing us, she said. They want to see if humans will fight. They want to see if we panic. And what do? Brooks asked. He did not shout. Humans were not known for shouting, even when angry, but inside he felt a quiet storm. We wait, Lisa said. We always wait first. Patience is human strength. We negotiate, we report, we make sure no one can say we struck first. The galaxy had watched humanity try to be peaceful. Humans had negotiated trade deals, shared technology slowly, and even helped other species in times of crisis. Humans had asked for respect, but respect was not given freely in the council. It was earned, sometimes by war. Lieutenant Ryan Clark, a young pilot barely 24 years old, entered the bridge. His eyes were bright with worry and anger. He had just returned from a patrol near Titan Station. His fighter squadron had seen a cargo ship destroyed by a Dravari cruiser. He had barely saved the crew in escape pods. "Sir," Ryan said, "they killed civilians. It was deliberate. They do not care about warnings. We cannot wait anymore. We have to strike." Brooks looked at him calm. "Ryan, we follow orders. We always protect civilians. We never fight unless commanded. Patience is what keeps us human. Anger makes us lose ourselves." Ryan's jaw tightened. He wanted to argue, but he knew the captain was right. Humans were different from other species. They were strong, yes, but they also controlled their anger. Their strength came from unity, from thinking before acting. Yet, Ryan could feel the fire building inside him. He did not understand how patience could protect people when so many had died. On Earth, Admiral Henry Carter sat in the high command. He had spent his life preparing for this moment, even if he had hoped it would never come. Reports had arrived from multiple colonies. Dravari raids were increasing. Ships were being held at gunpoint, miners were being captured, and a human hospital station near the edge of Dravari space had been attacked. Hundreds had died. He turned to diplomat Nora Bell, who stood quietly at his side. She was one of humanity's best voices at the Galactic Council, calm, intelligent, and fearless. "Nora, we have tried diplomacy for 20 years. We warned them, we reported every violation. Now they are attacking our people without reason. What do we do?" Nora's eyes were steady. "We wait a little longer," she said. "We still have allies watching. If we strike now, they may claim we started the war. But we make sure everyone knows what they have done. Patience is our shield." Admiral Carter nodded. He trusted her judgment, but he could feel the weight of the decision pressing down on him. Humanity had given every chance for peace. The galaxy had watched, and now patience was being tested like never before. Back at the Valiant Star, Captain Brooks looked at the holographic map of the Outer Rim. Clusters of red icons showed Dravari ships. Blue icons marked human patrols. The red lines of attack routes moved closer every day. "Commander Grant," Brooks said, "prepare our patrols for full alert. We do not strike unless ordered, but we show them we are ready. No mistakes. Protect the civilians at all costs." Lisa nodded. "Understood. I will coordinate with Titan Station and the convoys." "No one dies if we can prevent it." Ryan could not hide his frustration. He clenched his fists. "Sir, they will not stop. Every day we wait, more people die. I can't just sit here and watch." Brooks placed a hand on Ryan's shoulder. "That is why patience is hard, Ryan. But it is also our greatest weapon. Humans think, humans plan, humans act with purpose. One wrong move now and we give them the excuse they want." The next day, a human convoy from Mars was attacked near the asteroid belt. This time, several cargo ships were captured, not destroyed. Images were sent immediately to the Council. Ryan watched them on the bridge. His hands shook. "Sir," he said, "they are not stopping. They think we are weak." Brooks said nothing. He studied the images carefully. Then he turned to Lisa. "Send a report to the Admiral. We document everything. We stay calm. Humanity does not strike out of anger. We strike to protect ourselves, and we strike when the time is right." As humans waited, the Council watched. Other species whispered among themselves. Some said humans would break eventually. Others were beginning to doubt. Humanity had a strange power. They could endure insults, attacks, and humiliation without striking back. It confused everyone, but patience has limits. A few days later, Dravari ships attacked the hospital station at Juno Base. This was no warning, no capture, no theft. This was deliberate destruction. The station was leveled. Hundreds died, including doctors, nurses, and children. When the news reached Admiral Carter, he slammed his fist on the table. For the first time in decades, humanity's leaders felt true rage. But they did not panic. They did not fire first. They reported, they recorded, and they prepared. Nora Bell addressed the Council. Her voice echoed across the chambers of the Galactic Assembly. "Humanity has asked for peace. Humanity has asked for respect. We have been patient for 20 years. Now our patience is over. The attacks against our civilians are deliberate. Humanity will respond. And when we do, the galaxy will see what happens when humans are pushed too far." The Council was silent. Some species shifted uncomfortably. No one wanted to see humanity angry. For decades, humans had seemed small and weak. Now there was a different energy in the human words, calm, controlled, but full of warning. Back at the Outer Rim, Captain Brooks gathered his officers. "We will not strike today," he said. "We still follow orders. We still protect civilians, but we prepare. Humanity will not be weak forever. We have waited, and now the time may come when we act." Lieutenant Ryan Clark did not understand. He wanted to fly into battle immediately. He wanted to teach the Dravari a lesson for every death they caused. But Brooks' words stayed with him. Humans fight with purpose, not with anger. Engineer Emma Collins, who had been quietly monitoring ship systems, spoke up. "We have been ready for years. Our fleets, our shields, our weapons. We only needed the order. Patience has been our strength. Soon, that patience will show the galaxy our power." Over the next hours, human ships moved into defensive positions. They did not attack. They simply waited, prepared, and watched. Dravari scouts reported nothing unusual. They believed humans were still weak. They were wrong. In the council chambers, Nora Bell continued to speak. "The galaxy has watched humans beg for fairness. We have been patient. Now, when the attacks continue, the world will see what happens when patience is ignored. Humanity does not strike out of impulse. We strike to protect, to defend, and to survive. The time will come when the galaxy learns that humans are not weak." On Earth, families watched the news. People prayed for their loved ones at Titan Station, at Juno Base, at convoys across the Outer Rim. Fear was in their hearts, but humanity did not panic. Schools continued, factories produced, ships launched. People worked together, helped each other, and waited. Captain Brooks looked at the stars from the bridge of the Valiant Star. Countless ships waited silently in orbit. Humanity had asked for respect. Humanity had begged for peace. Humanity had been patient, but patience has a breaking point. And humanity's patience had finally snapped. The outer rim trembled as human fleets prepared. The galaxy did not yet know it, but the Six-Day War was about to begin. A war that would prove the true strength of humanity. And somewhere in the Dravari Empire, Warlord Vethai smiled, believing humans would break. He did not know that his arrogance would be his downfall. Humanity had been pushed to the edge, and when they acted, the galaxy would never forget it. The Six-Day War had begun. The galaxy waited, unsure of what humans would do. Humans had been patient for decades, but now that patience had ended. Every ship, every station, every fleet was ready. They had waited for the right moment, and now they were prepared to act. Captain Daniel Brooks stood on the bridge of the Valiant Star. His crew moved quietly, efficiently. No one shouted, no one panicked. The calm of humanity was their weapon as much as any laser cannon or shield array. "Commander Grant," Brooks said, "give me a full report on Dravari patrol movements. We need to strike precisely." Lisa Grant tapped her console. Red and blue lights moved across the holographic map. "They have 3 major fleets in the outer rim. Minor patrols are scattered. Their supply routes are vulnerable. If we move carefully, we can disable their forces without major civilian loss." "Good," Brooks said. He turned to Lieutenant Ryan Clark, who stood at attention. Ryan had a restless energy in his movements. He had been waiting for action for days. "Ryan, your squadron is ready. You will move with stealth drones to cut off their communications first. Precision, not aggression. Understand?" "Yes, sir," Ryan said. His voice was tight with excitement. He had trained for this moment, but he also remembered the losses from Titan Station and Juno Base. He would not let fear or anger control him. Engineer Emma Collins adjusted her console. "Our shields are operating at full capacity. The new plasma deflectors are online. Enemy energy weapons will be less effective than they expect. Their fleets underestimate us." "They always do," Brooks said quietly. "Humans are underestimated until it is too late." The first day of the war began with silence. No weapons fired. No alarms screamed. Human drones moved through the dark void of space, invisible to Dravari sensors. They cut communication lines, disabled navigation beacons, and left the enemy fleets confused. Dravari commanders looked at their screens in alarm. Orders they gave were ignored. Messages went unanswered. "We cannot control them," one Dravari officer said, his voice cracking. "They move in the shadows, yet we cannot detect them. Their numbers are unknown." Ryan Clark led a squadron of fighters through an asteroid belt near the outer rim. The terrain was dangerous, but humans used it to their advantage. The asteroids blocked Dravari sensors, giving the fighters cover. One by one, they disabled Dravari weapons platforms along the trade route. "Fire at the engines, not the ships," Brooks had said. "We stopped them without unnecessary death." The Dravari were confused. Humans did not fight with blind fury. They struck carefully, swiftly, and disappeared before the enemy could respond. The first day ended with multiple Dravari fleets crippled, but almost no casualties. Day 2 began with a human surprise attack. Commander Lisa Grant coordinated a strike on a major Dravari weapons depot near the belt. Hundreds of enemy ships were there, refueling, preparing for war. Humans did not fire blindly. They targeted the command center first, then the engines and weapon systems. Explosions rocked the depot, but no civilian prisoners were harmed. Humans freed workers enslaved by the Dravari before leaving. "We are showing them we fight with precision," Lisa said to Brooks. "They will begin to doubt their assumptions about us." Ryan Clark's squadron returned from another mission. They had destroyed several enemy fighters and disabled turrets on a Dravari battleship. He was exhausted but proud. He had seen human strategy work, even when facing a stronger, older enemy. "Good work, Lieutenant," Brooks said. "Remember, we fight to protect, not to destroy. Every life saved is as important as every ship disabled. Engineer Emma Collins worked late into the night. She inspected the plasma shield arrays, recalibrated weapons, and ran simulations. She had designed these systems years before, quietly, while the galaxy laughed at human technology. Now, her work gave humans an advantage. The shields absorbed energy attacks better than anything the Dravari had seen before. They won't expect this, Emma said quietly to herself. They think humans are weak. They are about to learn they are wrong. By day 3, human fleets moved deeper into Dravari territory. Admiral Henry Carter had authorized a bold strike. Humans would attack the enemy's largest shipyard, not to destroy it completely, but to disable production and free prisoners. The battle was tense. Dravari ships swarmed the area, but humans used clever tactics. Fighters flitted through debris fields, bombarding key targets while avoiding heavy guns. Stealth ships moved silently, disabling sensors and engines. Human marines boarded the shipyard and freed hundreds of enslaved workers from various species. They repaired some equipment instead of destroying it. Their goal was not revenge, it was strategy and mercy. "We are changing the galaxy's view of humanity," Lisa Grant said as she monitored the operation. "They expect chaos. We give order and humanity." Ryan Clark watched from his fighter. He felt a mix of relief and sorrow. Human casualties were low, but he remembered the ones they could not save. He thought of Titan Station, of Juno Base, of friends who would never return. He clenched his jaw. Humans were strong, but the cost of patience had been high. Captain Brooks called a meeting of his officers on the flagship. "The Dravari Empire believes humans are weak. They believe our patience is fear. They are wrong. We strike to defend, to protect, to show that humans are more than they imagined. Day 3 is almost over, but we are only beginning." That night, news spread across the galaxy. Other species began to whisper. Humans, they said, were unexpected, coordinated, precise, strong. The legend of human patience and cunning began to grow. On Dravari homeworlds, Warlord Vethais paced in his command hall. His officers reported failures across the outer rim. He could not understand why humans did not attack first, why they moved slowly and deliberately. "They fight differently," one officer said nervously. "They are not impulsive. They anticipate our every move." Vethais slammed his fist on the console. "Humans are weak," he shouted. "We will crush them before they realize the true strength of the Dravari." His officers avoided eye contact. They had already seen what humans could do in 3 days, yet they followed orders. Fear of their leader was stronger than their fear of humanity. Back on the Valiant Star, Brooks addressed his crew. "Day 3 ends tomorrow," he said. "We hold our position, we protect civilians, we fight with strategy. The galaxy is watching. Humanity will not disappoint." Emma Collins smiled faintly as she worked on the shields. "They don't know what we can do," she said. "They think patience is weakness. Soon patience will be our power." Ryan Clark looked at the stars. He thought of the battles ahead, of what they would have to do to survive, of the Dravari fleets waiting for them. He felt fear, but also pride. Humanity was finally showing its strength. Nora Bell addressed the Galactic Council once more. Her words were broadcast to every world. "Humans have been patient for 20 years. We have asked for peace, for fairness, for respect. We have been ignored, insulted, and attacked. Now our patience has ended. Humanity fights, not for vengeance, but to protect ourselves and the innocent. The galaxy will see what humans can do when they are pushed to the edge." Day 3 ended with human forces holding strong positions, freeing prisoners, and disabling enemy ships without unnecessary death. Dravari commanders were frustrated, confused, and afraid. Humanity was proving that their strength was not just in weapons or numbers, but in patience, unity, and strategy. Captain Brooks looked at the crew on the bridge. "Remember," he said quietly, "we fight to protect, we fight to defend, and we fight to survive." The galaxy thinks we are young and weak. Let them watch. Let them learn. As night fell over human space, Ryan Clark cleaned his weapons and checked his fighter. He thought of the civilians they had saved, of the ships they had disabled, and of the lives lost. Humans were strong, yes, but their true strength came from thinking, planning, and holding their patience until the right moment. Outside the hull of the Valiant Star, the stars shone bright and calm. The galaxy waited to see what would happen next. Humanity had begun the 6-day war. The first 3 days were over and the Dravari Empire had already learned one lesson. Humans are not weak, but the real test was still ahead. Day 4 would bring the largest fleets, the heaviest attacks, and the most difficult decisions. The galaxy would see whether humans could hold the line. And humanity was ready. Day 4 of the 6-day war began with tension that stretched across human space. The Dravari Empire had gathered its largest fleets and was moving toward human home systems. The galaxy held its breath. Humans, calm and ready, watched from their defensive positions. They had fought with patience, precision, and mercy for 3 days. Now the greatest challenge was about to arrive. Captain Daniel Brooks stood on the bridge of the Valiant Star, looking at the screens. Hundreds of red dots moved toward them on the holographic map. These were the Dravari's strongest ships, their newest battleships, and their heaviest cruisers. Humans had never faced a fleet this large before, yet there was no fear on the bridge, only focus. Commander Lisa Grant tapped at her console. "Sir, they are moving in tight formations. They want to crush us quickly. Our patrols are in position, shields at maximum. Fighters are ready for intercept. Civilian convoys have been moved to safe zones." Brooks nodded. "Good. Human strategy will not rely on numbers alone. We will use terrain, stealth, and timing. Ryan, your squadron is on the front line. Protect civilians first, engage only when necessary." Lieutenant Ryan Clark tightened his harness. He was young, but he had already seen the worst of war. He had lost friends on Titan Station and Juno Base. He felt a mix of fear and determination. "Yes, sir," he said. "We will not fail." Engineer Emma Collins monitored the flagship's reactor. Her hands moved quickly over the controls. She had worked day and night to keep the systems ready. The new plasma shields and energy deflectors were tested, calibrated, and primed. "Their weapons won't get through easily," she said quietly. "They don't know what they are facing." Admiral Henry Carter on Earth Command coordinated with all human fleets. "Day 4 will be the real test," he said to his staff. "We've fought carefully so far. Now we must hold the line. Humanity cannot afford mistakes." The first wave of battle erupted in Mars orbit. The Dravari fleet launched plasma volleys at human ships. Red and orange beams lit up space. Explosions shook the void. Human shields held firm. The new energy deflectors absorbed the attacks, keeping civilian stations safe. Commander Lisa Grant directed fighter squadrons through debris fields. Small human ships darted between large Dravari vessels, disabling weapons and engines. Humans struck precisely, disabling systems instead of destroying ships. The Dravari were confused. They expected humans to panic or attack blindly. They were wrong. Ryan Clark led his squadron into the thick of the battle. His fighter weaved through explosions, dodging enemy fire. He destroyed 2 Dravari turrets and then saved a civilian transport from being destroyed. One of his fighters was hit, but he ejected safely and was rescued by a nearby squad. "Remember why we fight," Brooks said over the comm. "To protect, to defend, to survive, not for anger or revenge." Engineer Emma Collins was sweating as she monitored the flagship's reactor. One direct hit had damaged a section of the power grid. She worked quickly, rerouting energy to critical systems while keeping shields and weapons online. "Almost done," she muttered. "Hold together, old girl." Humanity's comm strategy shocked the galaxy. Other species watched the transmissions of the battle. Humans did not panic. Humans did not retreat. They fought with precision, patience, and intelligence. The Dravari fleets began to falter. Their formations broke as humans used small ambushes and precise strikes to disable larger ships. Warlord Vethais could not understand it. He had expected chaos, emotion, and mistakes. Instead, humans acted like a single, unstoppable mind. "Why are they not afraid?" Vethais shouted. "Why are they not retreating?" His officers had no answers. The human fleets moved faster, smarter, and stronger than anything they had predicted. Their patience had become power. Day 4 continued with intense battles across the Outer Rim and Mars orbit. Human fighter squadrons struck in coordinated waves. Large Dravari cruisers were disabled one by one. Human marines boarded ships to rescue prisoners, freeing hundreds without causing unnecessary casualties. Ryan Clark's squadron was ordered to hold a sector near Mars. A group of Dravari bombers approached a civilian station. Ryan's fighters intercepted. One of his comrades' ships was destroyed, and another was heavily damaged. Ryan acted quickly, pushing the remaining bombers away and saving the station. He felt a surge of pride and sorrow. Human strength was not in avoiding danger but in facing it to protect others. On the Valiant Star, Brooks watched as the battle unfolded. Every action was coordinated, every strike precise. "Humans are not just fighting," he said. "We are showing the galaxy what patience, unity, and intelligence can do." Emma Collins worked tirelessly, repairing minor damage to the shields. "They will not get through," she said. "Not today, not tomorrow. Humans will hold." By the end of Day 4, human forces had held their positions, disabled hundreds of enemy ships, and saved thousands of lives. Dravari losses were heavy, but they had yet to understand the scale of human strength. Day 5 began with even greater tension. The Dravari launched their heaviest weapons, hoping to break the human line before reinforcements arrived. Energy beams streaked across space. Explosions rocked human stations. Civilians were evacuated, and the fleets held steady. Admiral Carter authorized the use of humanity's secret weapon, a powerful gravity system designed to disable enemy engines and weapons. It had never been used before. The device would not destroy ships completely, but it could render the enemy helpless if used correctly. "Only if necessary," Brooks reminded his officers. "We do not destroy unnecessarily. We disable, we protect." The gravity weapon was deployed near the center of the Dravari fleet. A wave of invisible force spread across space, slowing enemy ships, cutting off engines, and neutralizing weapons. Hundreds of Dravari ships were left stranded and powerless. Their crews were alive but unable to move. Vethais could not believe it. How is this possible?" he asked. His pride faltered as he watched his fleet fail. Human patience had turned into unstoppable power. Ryan Clark saw the disabled Dravari ships floating in space. Instead of attacking, Brooks ordered rescue teams to save the crews. Human marines floated among the enemy ships, pulling Dravari officers and soldiers to safety. "What are they doing?" one Dravari officer said. "They could destroy us easily. Why save us?" Brooks spoke over comms. "We fight to protect, not to kill unnecessarily. Humanity is strong, but we are also merciful. Learn from this." The galaxy watched in astonishment. Humans had disabled the enemy fleet without destroying it, and they were saving lives. It was a lesson that echoed through star systems. Humanity's strength was not only in weapons, ships, or numbers, but in intelligence, unity, and restraint. By the end of Day 5, human forces had completely held Mars orbit. Civilian stations were safe. Dravari ships were crippled and stranded. Human casualties were low. The Dravari Empire was shaken to its core. Warlord Vethais could no longer hide the truth. Humans were stronger than anyone had imagined. Captain Brooks gathered his officers. "We have held the line," he said. "The enemy fleet is crippled. Civilians are safe. Now we prepare for Day 6. The Dravari capital is within reach. We will act with care, precision, and mercy. Humanity's patience has proven stronger than their arrogance." Emma Collins smiled as she checked the systems one last time. "They never saw it coming," she said. "They underestimated humans. They always do." Ryan Clark looked at the stars, exhausted but determined. He thought of the battles ahead, of the lives saved, and of the pride in humanity. "We will finish this," he said quietly. "We will show the galaxy what humans can do." Nora Bell addressed the council. "For 5 days, humans have held their ground. For 5 days, they have fought, defended, and protected. The galaxy has watched, and the lesson is clear. Humanity is not weak. Humanity is not foolish. Humanity is strong, united, and patient. And patience, when pushed too far, becomes unstoppable power." Day 5 ended with humans ready, the Dravari fleet crippled, and the capital world exposed. The final day would determine the future of the 6-day war. Captain Brooks looked at the bridge crew. "Remember," he said, "our strength is patience, unity, and mercy. Tomorrow we finish this, not for revenge, but to protect our people and show the galaxy the true power of humanity." Outside the hull of the Valiant Star, the stars shone cold and bright. The Dravari capital waited, unaware that their arrogance had brought them to the brink. Humans had proven their strength over 5 days. The galaxy would never doubt them again, and humanity was ready for the final day. Word count. ~1, 620 day 6 dawned over human space. The galaxy waited, unsure of what would happen next. 5 days of careful strategy, patience, and precise strikes had shown the Dravari Empire that humans were stronger than anyone had believed. Now, the final day would decide the war. Captain Daniel Brooks stood on the bridge of the Valiant Star. The screens showed the Dravari capital world, surrounded by scattered and crippled ships. The enemy's strongest forces had been disabled, but Warlord Vethais had not surrendered. Humans were ready, calm, and organized. They had held the line, saved civilians, and protected lives, but now the moment of decision had arrived. Commander Lisa Grant spoke softly but firmly. "Sir, all human fleets are in position. Civilian convoys are safe. Dravari ships are powerless, engines disabled, weapons offline. We can strike and finish this today." Brooks shook his head. "We do not strike to destroy unnecessarily. We act to protect. Our strength is in our patience and unity. We finish this by showing power and mercy, not by bloodshed." Lieutenant Ryan Clark looked at the crippled Dravari fleet. He wanted to strike, to teach them a lesson for every death and attack over the past weeks. Yet he trusted Brooks' judgment. Humans did not fight blindly. They fought to defend, to protect, and to win without unnecessary loss of life. "Yes, sir," he said. Engineer Emma Collins checked the shields and weapons one last time. The fleet was fully operational. Even though the enemy was weak, humans remained prepared. "They will regret underestimating us," she said quietly, "but we will not lose control. We fight with purpose." On Earth, Admiral Henry Carter coordinated the fleets. His voice was calm over the calm. "Today, humanity must finish what we began. The galaxy watches. We strike not for revenge, but to protect. We finish this by showing what humans are capable of." Diplomat Nora Bell prepared her communication channels. She would address the Dravari capital directly. Humanity had fought 5 days of war, but they were not cruel. Mercy and strength would be their message. The first moves of Day 6 were careful. Human ships surrounded the Dravari homeworld, leaving clear lanes for civilians and neutral ships. The enemy's fleets were powerless. Brooks activated communication channels to the Dravari leaders. "Warlord Vethais," Nora Bell's voice carried through space, calm and strong. "Humanity does not fight to destroy without reason. We have disabled your forces, saved civilians, and held our line. You may surrender peacefully and save your people, or continue a war that only brings suffering to your people and ours." Vethais screamed in rage. "Humans are weak. You think you can threaten the Dravari Empire. "We do not threaten," Brooks replied, his voice calm. "We protect. Your empire attacked without warning. Your fleets were disabled without killing your crews. We offer peace. The galaxy has watched our actions. Your people can survive if you surrender." Officers aboard the Dravari ships whispered nervously. Thousands of their soldiers were trapped on crippled vessels, unable to fight. Citizens on the capital world watched transmissions of human fleets, saving their ships and marines rescuing stranded crews. Humanity's actions were confusing. They expected revenge, yet humans acted with mercy. Vethais roared orders, but his officers refused. They had seen their fleets fall, powerless, and they did not want more death. Slowly, one by one, the Dravari ships surrendered control to human forces. Engines powered down, weapons offline. Humanity had proven strength without destruction. Captain Brooks directed rescue operations. Human marines moved into the Dravari fleet, freeing crews and civilians. No one was harmed. For every enemy ship disabled, human teams saved lives. The galaxy watched in awe. Humans had fought, won, and still shown mercy. Ryan Clark helped guide a crippled Dravari cruiser toward a safe orbit. He thought of the friends lost in the war, of civilians saved, and of the pride swelling in him. Humanity was not only strong. Humanity was wise. They knew the difference between victory and cruelty. Engineer Emma Collins coordinated repairs on captured Dravari ships. She worked alongside Dravari engineers, showing them new techniques, sharing human methods. It was a strange sight, former enemies working together to restore what had been damaged. Commander Lisa Grant supervised joint patrols with humans and former Dravari ships. Every move was careful. Every action was precise. The Dravari soldiers were confused, but the human approach inspired respect. Humans did not humiliate. They led. Nora Bell addressed the council once more. For 6 days, humanity has held its ground, defended its people, and protected civilians. For 6 days, the Dravari Empire learned that humans are not weak, that our patience is our strength, and that our unity is unmatched. Today, peace is possible. Today, humanity proves itself not just as a fighter but as a responsible power in the galaxy. Warlord Vethais was forced to retreat to his palace. His pride was broken. The empire he had ruled with arrogance was humbled. Humans had not sought to destroy. They had not sought revenge. They had simply defended, protected, and shown what patience and unity could accomplish. On the Valiant Star, Brooks addressed his crew. 6 days of war are over. Humanity has proven its strength. We fought with purpose, defended the innocent, and spared lives whenever possible. This is the way humans fight. The galaxy has watched, and they will never forget. Ryan Clark sat quietly, thinking of all that had happened. He had flown through asteroid fields, dodged fire, saved civilians, and lost comrades. Yet he felt proud. Humans were young in the galaxy, yes, but they had the wisdom of patience and the courage to act when necessary. They had shown the galaxy the power of unity and strategy. Emma Collins smiled as she powered down the final systems. "We could have destroyed them," she said, "but we didn't. Humans are strong, but humans are merciful. That is what makes us different." Captain Brooks looked out at the stars. He thought of Titan Station, Juno Base, and the fleets across the galaxy. Humanity had been tested. The galaxy had doubted them. The Dravari had mocked them. And yet humans had endured, planned, and won. On the Dravari capital, officers began to report the truth. The humans were not weak. The humans were not reckless. Humans were strong, united, patient, and precise. They had been underestimated, and now their legend had begun. Admiral Henry Carter spoke to the fleet. "We fought for 6 days. We have proven that patience is strength, that unity is power, and that mercy is more powerful than cruelty. Humanity has earned its place in the galaxy. We must now lead wisely, as protectors, as defenders, and as examples of strength with restraint." Families on Earth watched the news. Relief, pride, and hope filled the hearts of people across the world. The Six-Day War was over. Humanity had not only survived, it had proven to the galaxy that they were a force to be reckoned with. Captain Brooks walked through the corridors of the flagship. Crew members worked quietly, repairing damage and checking systems. He nodded at each one. "Well done," he said simply. "Humanity did well." Ryan Clark approached him. "Sir, the galaxy will remember this, won't they?" he asked. "They will," Brooks replied. "They will remember the patience that became power. They will remember the courage, the unity, and the mercy. They will remember humanity." Emma Collins and Lisa Grant joined them. They looked at the stars, calm now after the storm. "Humans fight differently," Lisa said. "We are not the strongest in weapons, but we are strong in mind and heart." The galaxy needed to see that. Nora Bell spoke over comms. "Humanity has proven that patience is not weakness. Unity is not fear, and mercy is not surrender. The galaxy will never underestimate humans again." Ryan Clark thought of all the young pilots, Marines, engineers, and civilians who had fought, who had saved lives, and who had endured the Six-Day War. Humans had been pushed to the edge, and when they had acted with precision, wisdom, and strength. Captain Brooks looked out at the stars one last time. He thought of the lessons learned, the lives saved, and the power shown. Humanity's patience had snapped. The galaxy had seen the result. Humans would never be underestimated again. The Six-Day War ended not with hatred, but with respect earned. Humans had fought, protected, and survived. The Dravari Empire had been humbled, the galaxy had been amazed, and humanity had proven its strength. And as the stars shone over the fleets and the planets, one truth became clear. Humanity's patience was a power unlike any other. When pushed too far, humans could be unstoppable. The galaxy would remember the Six-Day War. They would remember the patience, the courage, and the unity that defined humanity. And they would never forget that humans, when united and patient, could change the course of history forever. Humanity's patience had snapped, and the galaxy had learned its lesson. Word count: ~1 615.